I treat shooting content like an actual match. You need to have your pregame ritual. You need to have your pregame strategy. You need to think about what's going on that match day, like what's going to be happening on that shoot. You need to think about locations, lighting, sound, everything all in one, how your teammates or those actors or creators on set are going to work with the story the same way as your teammates who are on the pitch. How are we going to be able to attack this game so we can win? A lot of my directing and a lot of my work on set has a lot of structure. I feel like I'm a very structured DP where I'm like, hey, we got an entire shot list. We're staying to the game plan. But I think that structure keeps me intact to be so ahead of anything that might fly our way.
All right, this is going to be a quick and dirty episode of the Sports Creator Showcase. Welcome to Season 2, your Episode 1, Season 2. You're a lucky contestant.
I am
coming all the way from New York City. Anthony Crouchelli, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. I am honored to be here. I was trying to fit that I am honored in between, but I'm honored to be here.
No, I'm happy to have you. I think it's been like weeks of us, months of us trying to do this. Every time I'm here, we never tried it. We have pretty much exactly half an hour to do this episode, but I feel like no time is better than now. Anthony is, for those who don't know, a very talented creative, a director of photography, creative, athlete, former professional soccer player, photographer, on and on and on. The accolades keep going. Someone who I worked with a lot this year, will continue to work with, a good friend of mine. Anthony, for the people who don't know you, really quickly, who are you? What do you do?
My name is Anthony Crouchelli. I am a creative director and cinematographer from New York who specializes in running and wellness. I've been in the space for about 10 years, opened some gyms, then moved into the production side, and now just love to tell stories through my camera.
He's also a freak athlete, ran a very fast marathon in New York, which I witnessed. This guy does high rocks. This guy does everything. Someone who I consistently get inspired by, not just creatively, but also like physically and health-wise. Someone who I've built a really good relationship with. We've worked on a lot of things. Obviously, we don't have much time here, but this whole podcast is really about highlighting the creatives in the sports industry and what they've been doing. You have a very unique background, though, that we'll just jump right into. You were a professional athlete before you played soccer, pro soccer. Can you give us a little bit about your background in that space and how you, once you, I guess, retired out of soccer, transitioned into the creative side?
Yeah, I always look back at my soccer career as a more of a moment in time rather than an actual career because it was so short. Played in the very, very low level semi-professional space, so I want to clarify that before we
still pro though, still
paid to play, which was great. But yeah, I think soccer was my entire life. So when it ended, it wasn't so much that I missed the game. I think I was more scared of a new chapter that wasn't soccer. And that's, I think, a lot of people who are out there, when you play a sport, whether it's collegiately or professionally in any kind of manner, when you identify in that sector for so long and then you have to find out who you are outside of that, it's a really scary thing. So I think that was a really hard time for me, was exiting that career. But then honestly, fitness kind of fell right into my lap. And I think I just loved helping people. I loved working with people. I loved training more than anything, and allowing the everyday person to feel like an athlete. I think that was what I found so much gratification from, was Jack in the back, who has 3 kids, could train like a professional soccer player
100%.
and then go home to his kids.
And I think that's the ethos of what you've built now, moving into 2025, what you've done with More Than Miles, what you've done with your creative, what you've done highlighting other people, normal people doing these everyday things, but also achieving these incredible athletic feats. And I think that translates really well. It's really interesting that you mentioned, like, a lot of athletes, I feel like, have this like weird, I don't know what I'm going to do once my sport is done. You know what I mean? So it's really interesting to hear. And I've seen a lot of athletes pivot towards the creative because they realize, like, you still want to be a part of it. You still want to be in this world. And while you may not be able to engage in it at the physical level like you used to, you're still able to stay in there through the storytelling aspect, the content capture aspect. How did your process go from, finishing your soccer career and picking up your camera for the first time and starting to live in the creative? How did you get into that space?
Yeah, my career was a little unique because I went from soccer to coaching fitness full time as a personal trainer and then working in the group fitness space. And then I got into the media sector through taking headshots for a lot of people who were in fitness. So people were like, hey, I need a new headshot. I need updated photos. And I went from the photography to then the videography space. And then I think I fell in love with just video the first time I got to sit down in Premiere and like play with log footage. I was like, this is like paint by numbers. This is so much fun. And then I started loving, more than anything, the ability to plan out storytelling and really lean into the ethos, like you just said, of who people are at the root and try and capture that in stories and moments.
And I think you have a really unique perspective in it too, because not only were you an athlete, you own several gyms, you run several fitness. We're currently, if you're watching this on YouTube, in Grit, where we're about to do a workout in the next 30 minutes, and we're in his gym doing this podcast. You're very in tune with the space, and something I've learned now in the last year of being in tune with the athletic space myself. The content means that much more. The people you cover means that much more. The stories you tell, or you have a better connection with them. When it comes to your content now and the way you're driving the narrative in the work that you're doing, whether it's short form, documentary, etc., how do you use your personal experience as a former athlete, use your personal experience as someone teaching people to embrace their athleticness, even as a person? How does that impact the content you make now?
Yeah, I treat the way I shoot content like going to practice, right? So like there's a lot of times where, or I treat it like a game, actually. I take that back. I treat shooting content like an actual match. You need to have your pre-game ritual. You need to have your pre-game strategy. You need to think about what's going on that match day, like what's going to be happening on that shoot. You need to think about locations, lighting, sound, everything all in one, how your teammates or those actors or creators on set are going to work with the story the same way as your teammates who are on the pitch. How are we going to be able to attack this game so we can win? So I think I kind of come from a lot of my directing and a lot of my work on set has a lot of structure. I feel like I'm a very structured DP where I'm like, hey, we got an entire shot list. We're staying to the game plan. But I think that structure keeps me intact to be so ahead of anything that might fly our way. You know this, on shoot days, a lot of things go wrong.
When we shot the marathon, a lot of things didn't go our way, and like you just have to roll with the punches.
You do. And I think, but what you did so well during the marathon, and the marathon went great. I don't listen to that. But his content was phenomenal from the marathon. I think what we did though was we took so much time to capture moments over that weekend.
Yeah.
Right? Like it was hard to get around New York, but we had so much footage from that entire weekend and so much storytelling that went into it that God forbid that day it didn't go right. We at least had enough of a blanket to make sure the story could be told.
And it didn't go right because I remember that me and Kara, who you met, also she's on the podcast, Kara, if you're watching, shout out Kara. We were like about to get out like halfway through Central Park, like through that whatever the street is, and we realized you were gone, so we had to keep going. So there was moments where like I realized we weren't going to get you a second time. We only got you twice. So it is really just like when we had all that content that enveloped all over the weekend that made that piece possible. Another thing you're currently doing is you're also building your personal brand online. We met off TikTok.
Yeah.
We met off TikTok.
I DM'd this man almost 2 years ago.
Slid into my DM.
Slid in so hard. But that's the power, I also say, of social media. Like, we just chatted about Javi today, who I met.
Yeah.
I met him through social media. Shout out Javi Portillo. But I think the thing is when you meet creatives who are not in this space to kind of just like show their work and not care about other creatives, like you're such a human at the end of the day, and you're such a people person, and you're all about community. Like it was easy to connect with you because at the forefront, that's who you are, and you're very willing to help. And you just talking about my personal brand. You inspired me to start my own personal brand for a long time.
Wow, I was trying to pump this guy's tires. Now he's praising me. Holy.
But no, I really mean like I was in a sector of my life where I think I was just posting a post, right? I had a camera. I loved shooting and telling stories, but it was kind of like, I'll just post it. And then like if somebody sees it and they ask who shot that, I would just be like, oh, I did. And what you've been really so strong with is providing education, providing community, and providing so many resources for people to be able to learn. And I think you don't know it enough, but I got to give you your flowers. You really are a mentor for myself, but also a lot of people in this space who they feel like there is that inaccessibility gap. And we can go in that, and we know that there's a huge amount of gap.
Yeah.
But I think that gap can be really helped through community and communication, and you do that so well.
Thank you. Well, we're going to end the podcast now. That was I'm kidding. Quick pause from today's video because I just want to take a quick second to say thank you to all of you who are watching and engaged with my content over the last few years. Whether you've been subscribed, dropping comments, liking, or even just watching these videos, you have no idea how much I appreciate that and how much it's helped me progress and grow this channel to where it is today. And I really just want to say thank you for a quick second because I would not be here where I am today making YouTube videos on the side of what I'm doing if it wasn't for your incredible support over the last little while. You guys know very well that I'm here here because I want to help you guys grow and break into this industry in the same way I did. And I know that is a pretty big task and something that can be really intimidating, from figuring out how to shoot sports, nailing the right look, or even breaking into the right rooms and learning how to network with the right people to get opportunities. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but I'm here to try and provide value and help you guys along the way. And there's one other way that you guys can support me and that I can help you guys that I want to talk about really quickly. If you've ever gotten value from the content I'm posting here on YouTube and you want to support me a little bit more directly and also get more bang for your buck on how much you can invest in this industry, I actually have a full digital storefront website with a ton of assets and resources to help people just like you guys who are actively working or trying to break into the sports creative industry. On my digital storefront, there are a ton of products that I've been curating over the last few years in order to help you guys create content better and faster than ever before, like the LUTs I use to color grade my videos, the Lightroom presets I use to edit all of my photos, and even strategy guides and email templates for how to reach out to sports teams and get opportunities faster. No pressure whatsoever, but if that sounds helpful or interesting to any of you, just know the link will be down in the description below for you guys to check out my digital storefront and all those assets I previously mentioned. And even if you don't end up buying anything, your support by just watching today's video means the world to me. Anyways, that's it from me. Let's get back to today's video. No, I appreciate you saying all that, but like, I also remember seeing your content for the first time. I saw the two first pieces of content I remember seeing you. Number one was your like daily vlogs. This guy walked around with an A7S III on a gimbal vertically, and I'm like, I remember seeing, I'm like, shit, this is crispy. This is better than my vision. And then I messaged this guy, what are you shooting on a gimbal? I'm like, what the hell? Insane. So you also are a big like you're a big like promoter of like quality too. It's not just quantity over quality. It's you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna look like a bit of a doofus like holding the gimbal the whole time, but it looks good and people notice that. That was the first piece of content I noticed here. And then I also noticed the Hoboken weather report, which was pretty funny. I remember seeing some of those and I'm like, this guy's funny. And then I saw you made content. And so I think at the end of the day, we both had that relatability where we connected over just making content that we wanted to make, whether it was daily vlogs showing our process or just being a bit of a goof in front of the camera. And I feel like we had that in common. Moving kind of to where you're at now, you're doing a lot of running content. Running is the space where you and I really connected. Obviously, we connected creatively, but you helped me kind of grow in this space. You kind of helped mentored me in the kind of running space. But you also do a lot of work in the running space, which is growing exponentially. We just talked about it before this.
Yeah.
What is it about working in the running and athletic space really that, that gets you going in the day? What is it that makes you want to keep working in that space?
Yeah, I think running has so many different people inside of it, which is what makes it always exciting, right? You have people who run a 9-hour marathon to people who run a 2:30 marathon, and they should be showcased the same way. And that's a big thing. I always talk about people over pace. People's stories, I think, can really be amplified through content. And I think a lot of people run for a reason. I don't think a lot of people, they take a workout class and they're not taking a workout class for a reason. Maybe they are, but when you go to run a race, there's normally some kind of depth there.
Yeah.
There's a purpose behind it. Whatever.
Everyone has a why.
100%. 5K, half marathon, the 1 mile loop, whatever you're doing, ultra marathon. This weekend, I'm documenting that ultra marathon. Like, everyone runs for a why. And I think that's why it's been so fun to continue to lean into that sector, because every single day you learn something new. Today on the phone with Hobby, we talked so much about just like what's going on in the world and how running has allowed his community to have a safe space and not feel scared and feel like they can be empowered, and the stories he's sharing as well with Lisette. I mean, it's remarkable.
Yeah, I think running has become, it's definitely one of the more accessible sports, and a sport that, you can argue this all you want, but like the majority of people can access and do.
Yeah.
And I think it allows for those unique stories. And I think when it comes to what I've been able to capture you do, what we've been able to capture other people do, it showcases that everyone does have that purpose. Everyone does have that why. For those who have never shot a marathon or a race of any kind, what's your kind of process when it comes to it? Obviously, you and I have talked ad nauseum. What is the best way to shoot running? Is it running with a gimbal? Is it handheld? Is it on a scooter? Is it on a Segway? What's your process when you're going out to shoot? You shot the Marathon for the World recently in Central Park.
Yep.
What was like your process with that? And also, I will make sure to put examples of Anthony's work here from that, because it was incredible storytelling. But what was your process with that?
Yeah, I mean, I even think about this weekend with the ultra that we have. It's an upstate ultra. It's a 1 mile loop, and we have to figure out how to shoot 100 journal entries over 100 miles, right? So for me, I have to think about different location points in that 1 mile loop, right? So you have to do your map work. You have to think about how you're framing each shot like a pre-pro, right? And then you have to think about the timing of the individual in that race. And you know this. You caught me at what, mile 21 of the New York City Marathon. I was a flood of emotions coming up.
I was almost crying.
Almost crying, right? And I know for me, I had this conversation with Casey, if you're watching this, yesterday in his home upstate. I was with him and his wife, Leah, and we were talking about this 100-mile race and how he's going to feel at certain points. And you have to almost be able to see, to understand, and listen to the athlete. That's a huge thing that happens. They don't want a camera in their face all the time. So you got to be able to get the moments you need to get, but you need to plan it out ahead of time.
Yeah.
So I really like to try and find my markers on course. And then from there, think about the moments that we want to shot throughout the race. I know for Casey, he was like, hey, from mile 80 to 100, I need you to just tap me maybe 2 or 3 times only, because I'm going to be cranky and I'm trying to win this race. And it's going to be a lot. So just listening to the athlete as well really helps. And especially you in a marathon, you know, I think you know this now as you're getting ready to film your marathon coming up, or the marathon in Chicago.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're allowed to talk about that, but
Maybe we can talk about that.
sweet.
Shooting Chicago Marathon doc, but yes.
Yeah. So
He's also running Chicago, so
am.
I will be probably shooting him too.
yeah. So with that, I think it's so helpful to get there a couple days early and look at the course. Look at, how do I get there in traffic? Am I taking a city bike? Can I take trains? If I'm at mile 3, how long is it going to take me to get to mile 14 and then mile 22 to get the shots I need to get? Am I shooting in 24? Do you just save it and shoot in 120 the whole time? A lot of my work, I shoot in 120.
Because, and I agreed when I just started shooting this documentary with my friend Liam, we shot one loop of his first 8-mile run in 24. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to have enough to pull out of it. It looks great, but I only have 10 seconds. But if I shoot a 10-second clip in 120 frames, I suddenly have 25 to 30 seconds when I slow down. So it is really about picking your spots, picking the techniques that you want to use. And I know a lot of people watching this probably shoot football, probably shoot soccer, probably shoot hockey, baseball, traditional sports. The same techniques and concepts can be applied. If you're shooting the first half of game, where are you going to be? Think about where you're going to be positioning, what team is playing on your end. Do you want to shoot 24? Do you want to shoot 120? And then when you move on to mile 10 or the second half of a soccer game, you then start to adjust. So it really is just like planning ahead, knowing how to get different points of coverage and also different perspectives within that. What's been the hardest part, the biggest challenge you encountered while shooting running?
People. Just like, don't get hit. I mean, I think I've been
you mean like actually people?
Yeah.
Okay.
I honestly think I've been one of those people who's been on a skateboard before. I've been one of those people who's been on a city bike before. I've been in so many different elements of running around. And I think one of these things that I always tell people is like trying to figure out the best way to capture content
without getting in the way of the public.
Exactly. And the public's always going to be there. That's why marathons are tricky. And you know this, like Subway, they get shut down on marathon day sometimes. Like Boston.
You have cops everywhere who won't let you on the course.
And even the Boston Marathon, I can kind of lean into this.
Oh yeah, he just ran Boston.
I ran Boston as well this year. And Boston starts so far out from the city. So you start almost 2 hours out from the city of Boston. So no one can shoot you and then make it back to the city in enough time because the city shuts down.
Yeah.
So you have to have a team that says, okay, I'm going to be, let's just say, in location 1 where we start, somebody's going to be in Needham at the hill, and then somebody's going to be in the city. And you almost have to attack it in quadrants.
100%.
So anytime anybody's shooting a marathon, I always say it's best to have 2 to 3 people on your staff.
And when we shot New York, I had a few people who I just reached out to on social media the same way we connected, and just like, hey, I need someone. And I'm 100% going to do this Chicago because like I'm going to need that. But it really is that strategy and that strategizing and that planning ahead, and again, trying not to get in the way of the public. That becomes the biggest issue. We have 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes.
Yeah.
In terms of how do you balance? I think this is a really important thing. How do you find balance within you and I are very busy. We just talked about it before we got onto this podcast. We're both overbooked. We're both working our own full-time jobs. We both freelance and we both make our own content. Like, you got a lot of going on, and a lot of people watching this are probably in the same realm. How do you balance everything? Because you are very good at it.
Yeah, Google Tasks. AI, right? No, I have a daily to-do list.
Okay.
So that's helped me out a lot. I started doing that in the new year, where I made a daily to-do list just content-wise of what I needed to do. Whether it was honestly just like, I need to color grade footage today. I need to color grade Dan Broccoli, shout out. We just did his Chicago Marathon stuff. I need to color grade his footage today. That was like one of my little checklists, right? For tomorrow, I'll have, let's cut it up. Let's add some SFX. Let's add some music. Let's send it first.
So you are like
day by day.
production line, everything has a day.
And that's, for me, that works. I know some people who are like, I just want to cram as much editing and everything in one day. I go, okay, let me think about from my 8 a.m. to 10:30, what can I do? Then from 10:30 to 12, can I train? And that's my time of the day that I try and lean for myself. A lot of times, unfortunately, that's when brands and or clients want to have meetings. So I let that time from 10:30 to 12 be for meetings. And then anytime from 12 to 3, I'm also editing. So I have this kind of 8 to 3 schedule of work. And then after work, I'm here, right? I'm teaching class at night or I'm training, whether it's swimming or biking or running.
What is it about specifically training other people that you can't let go of, that you want, that keeps you bringing back?
Human interaction. It's like the greatest thing in the world. I can't.
Yeah.
I won't.
So you won't. There's nothing you would sacrifice out of everything you do, which is, I mean, that's super impressive. It's incredibly impressive to see.
Yeah. I think you just downsize. Like I mean,
You have to learn how to say no too.
yeah. I mean, Evan's here too. Evan, I'm gonna shout you out real quick. Evan and Evan's over here. He's watching. Evan, if you want to come in real quick. But Evan and I, bring him in real quick.
I don't even know Evan. How you doing, Evan? Hey, Juan, nice to meet you, brother.
So Evan and I were the first trainers here at Grit way back in the day, and we used to teach like 15 to 20 classes a week.
Yeah.
And Evan's also in the creative space, but we also talk about it so much where like there's a time where life gets in the way and you kind of have to pull back in these moments because you only can give so much emotionally before, like, all you're doing is being a therapist sometimes. But at the same time, I don't know if you resonate with this, you also can't let it go because you just love humans.
I think a big thing for us is like we're like energy dealers. So we try to find things when we're not here coaching that fill up our cup so that we can continue to empty our cup into our space, into other human beings, and continue to make other people feel good. Because in turn, that makes us feel great about what we're doing and helping people and stuff.
Yeah. Love that. I love that. Great cameo. Thanks, Ev. No, I love that. Keeping an eye on the time here. We got 4 minutes. 4 minutes left to go. What is next for you? You know, I've known you for 3 or 4 years now. We got a long way to go in terms of what we can do in our creative careers. Where do you want to end up? What's next for you? What's coming up?
Yeah.
What are you training for? What would you like to keep doing?
Yeah, I'm training for Chicago Marathon. I'm training for High Rocks Dallas. There is an Ironman that is scheduled, Jones Beach 70.3, but I need to be really conscious and I need to be really conscious and smart about not rushing into that. I always can defer to next year if I need to. And the only reason I'm saying this is because swimming is new for me, so it is a little challenging. But outside of that, I think just for me creatively, it's just shooting more sports and getting more into that scene and really starting to help.
This guy started shooting MLS recently. New York Red Bulls are shooting tomorrow.
Yep.
What was the what you shot for the first time 2 weeks ago? What was that experience like, really quickly, for those who haven't shot pro soccer before?
Yeah, you helped me. I contacted you because you have an expertise in it. I would say you.
No, but it crushed it. Sony featured this guy.
Appreciate it.
Shout out Sony.
Shout out Sony. Mandatory 70-2, mandatory 1-4, 100 to 400 millimeter lens. I think you need it. I'm standing behind a goal, and it was so good to have those two lenses on me. Video, first 15 minutes, get what you need to get of each half. That's all you get in MLS. And don't be scared to shoot 120. I think I did a lot of 24 of just moments, and I would take maybe 5 minutes of 24 and then 10 minutes of 120, and then I would just shoot the rest of the half. Yeah. And you have enough. I promise you will have enough. Just be strategic with it.
Yeah, love that. Just to wrap things up here, because I know we're about to get started in our class here, aka my torture fest, because every time I come to New York, this guy likes to beat the crap out of me. But for those who are just getting started in the creative space, I ask this to everybody on the podcast. What is one piece of advice you would give to the younger version of you, just starting off creatively? What's the one piece of advice you give yourself?
Don't quit. Simple. Answer the call. Don't quit.
Answer the call. Don't quit. I love that. Obviously, that was good.
You know you're in New York when you can dap up.
Yeah. This guy's super Hoboken, New Jersey, but we're in New York. Anyways, super short podcast, but happy to finally get you on here. If you guys listen to this, if you guys enjoyed, thank you guys so much. Season 2 off with a bang with this guy. Go follow Anthony on social media. Where can they find you?
At Anthony Crouchelli, TikTok, Instagram, more.
Go hit him up. Go give him some love. Go tell him he's going to go crush the 70.3, not to be scared of swimming. He's going to be fine. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you guys later.